Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would make the most of the last few dregs of this afternoon's sunshine to try and get a recording of the Burberry Eye and Face palette that I received a while ago now, although I haven't had a chance to use it. So let's see if we can get some decent swatches in this light, although you can see it's not perfect because the sun is shining from the side. I can't film at a different angle, unfortunately. Let's see how we get on. It may or may not work out. So I thought I'd show you the little pouch that the palette came in. You can see I've been into it. Just a little paper pouch, but quite effective, and the invoice and everything comes in a smart brown envelope. But this is what we're really interested in, the Burberry Signature Eye and Face palette, which is a fairly new product, available. I got mine off the website. Burberry has always been a tricky one to get hold of. They have their own shop, I think, still in Covent Garden, although I have to say I'm not sure of that now that I've said it, because I haven't actually been there since the COVID pandemic, which of course now is getting on for 2 years, so it may well have gone. A lot of those units, kind of pop-up shops. So that being so, it certainly used to be stocked at Harrods. Again, I don't know whether it still is. And Phoenix, I think, not even Selfridges. So it was always a difficult one if you wanted to go and visit and see in person. I have bought the products in the past. In particular, I used their foundations quite a lot a few years ago, and I liked them. I think they work very well, actually, on more problematic skin than my own. I always remember somebody being made up in the Burberry shop in Covent Garden who had really quite blemished skin, and their medium coverage foundation did a fantastic job, let us say, and that was not easy. Oh, there we are. That's better light, isn't it? I go on talking for long enough and the light quality improves. So there's always a benefit to being chatty. Anyway, I saw this on the website. It reminded me straight away of the beloved Tom Ford palettes. Let's take it out the box. Very smart container, as you can see. 17.5 grams. So here's one of the Tom Ford ones that are comparable. It's much thinner palette, but similar size. What's the weight on these? 14 grams. So actually, this doesn't feel heavier, I can tell you now. So that's interesting, isn't it? This definitely feels much heavier, but it must be the case rather than the product. And you know the drill. So this one is Rose Cashmere, which was one of my more favourite ones. These are the kind of baked jelly. I don't believe these Burberry ones are. I think these are powders. So that's the colour scheme, and you can see that I haven't yet used it. So this is very much a kind of introductory, let's have a look. I just like this format where you get a blush and a highlighter along with your eyeshadows. I'm not sure about the colour story, in particular this red down here, because as I've said before, I don't find that an easy eye colour. It works sometimes to a very limited extent, but I certainly got rid of my Chanel reddish eyeshadows. There was a whole period, wasn't there, when Miss Piquet became creative director, when we got a lot of red shadows, and I just didn't find they worked for me. However, I was attracted by this very cool taupe over here, which reminded me of a Burberry eyeshadow I had years ago. I think it's called Trench. they used to do singles, really beautifully produced and really nice quality eyeshadows. Very, very simple, very classical colours. And they had one that was like that. Anyway, let's get into it. Here's the cheek colour. Feels moderately smooth, but not hugely. You're not getting a brilliant view of the colour there, but it is quite a light kind of peachy pink. Quite matte, actually. There's no sheen or glitter on that. So if you like a matte shadow, I don't know whether it is meant to be a matte. Eyeshadow, blush and highlighter essentials, it says. And yeah, it is a matte. Dusty pink, it's called. And the highlighter is supposedly rose gold shimmer. Doesn't look particularly rose gold in the, well, I don't know, slightly pinky, but I would call that more of a true gold, to be honest. But this one feels quite dry, actually, but it's got a nice shine. If you like a subtle highlighter, this is a subtle highlighter in my book. Very pretty, slightly rosy, but I'd say fairly mid. Just a nice, not glittery shimmer. So this is very, very Burberry aesthetic. So nothing too exciting or in your face. Very classic and quite natural, neutral looking. But I think you'd need fairly pale skin for these to work, to be honest. Let's have a look. Oh, this feels lovely and soft. Oh, yes, I'm loving this. So what's this called? This is called Burberry Beige. It's a matte. So we've got a matte, 2 satins and a shimmer. So here's our matte. That's a nice, it looks slightly kind of more neutral, doesn't it, in the swatch than in the palette, where it looks quite cool to me. But that's going to suit a lot of people. Then we've got 2 satins down here. So again, feels nice. Yes, that's very pretty. Quite well pigmented. You could use that to line or as a transition. It's almost looking a bit warmer in the viewfinder than on my hand, where it looks fairly neutral, I have to say. Neutral to warm. And then this red that I'm a bit nervous about. Ooh, and it's slightly kind of tangerine. Let's put that up there. So, yeah, I don't know how that's going to work on the eye. I'd almost be tempted to use it as a blush, although it's quite pigmented. And unlike the actual blush, which is matte, it's a satin, so there's a bit of a sheen. So if you've got a dainty enough blush brush, why not use it as a blush? I'll report back if that works. And then up here we've got the shimmer, which is this gold. Love me a nice gold. Oh, yeah, and it's a good old gold. So it's an interesting colour palette, isn't it, really? I don't think of it as particularly spring-like, although to be fair, I don't think they call it part of their spring collection. It's just what they've brought out as their kind of basic palette. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how I use this. I prefer the Baked Gelée formula of Tom Ford's palettes, I have to say, but these are nice and soft. And it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? How many neutral matte... in fact, I don't have that many matte eyeshadows, to be fair, so I will use that. And it is a really good colour. I think a lot of people who like a more subtle highlighter, that would definitely work. I'm a bit dubious about this red. So, you know, I can't remember what I paid for this. And it was definitely less than the Tom Ford ones, she says with some confidence. But I can't remember how much. I think it was about the price of a normal Tom Ford quad, i.e. about 69, £70. But I'll look up and put that in the description box. The format is really nice, and if you like having a quad with some face products in, then this is a good option if the colorway would work for you. But I'm not sure it's the most useful colorway for people of anything less than a lighter skin tone. And even then you might have some issues, as I say, with that red eyeshadow, or maybe that's just me. Anyway, beautifully presented, really quality packaging. The shadows feel nice on hand swatches, as I would expect from Burberry. So that's a first look. I don't know if anyone else has grabbed the Burberry palette. It is a very kind of British thing, but I'm glad to see they're still putting them out there, because they do have nice quality products. Anyway, I have loads of new products to use, to show you and to talk about. So until the next one, bye for now.